If we were to add a touch of romance to the evolution of animals, I often feel that every evolutionary branch of each animal phylum carries some sort of mission with it. The most typical example is the mollusca, with bivalvia mainly responsible for pioneering at the bottom of the food chain, cephalopoda primarily vying for supremacy at the top of the food chain, and gastropoda primarily holding down the basic territory of the mollusks. Among us chordates, if it's said that vertebrates have reached the extreme in terms of superior senses, movement, and intelligence, then Urochordates are probably actively exploring other possibilities in evolution. The origins of Urochordates are ancient, appearing in the Cambrian period in an area equivalent to today's Yunnan, Meishanshan in China, where there were already two species resembling Urochordates. These two Cambrian sea squirts are very similar to today's sea squirts, which are the most typical Urochordates of today. The body of the sea squirt in adulthood is essentially completely mimicking sponges, with an extremely degenerated nervous system. However, it doesn't actually need to move. Most of the surface of the sea squirt's body is covered with a very tough skin, known as the tunica. Therefore, Urochordates are now generally referred to as tunicata. Inside the tunica, there's basically nothing, with no nutrition at all, and also difficult to chew. Almost no animal would be interested in such an empty box-like thing, truly maximizing the pointlessness of its features. Besides, its extremely simple body structure allows the sea squirts to have an extraordinarily robust self-healing ability. Although they can't regenerate like sponges, even if they're reduced to bits, the concept of a fatal wound basically does not exist for them. Perhaps it's this confidence from standing on invincible ground that has led some sea squirts to abandon even that protective hard skin of theirs. They become thin and transparent, and then some sea squirts began to float, letting themselves fly free in evolutionary terms. They evolved into Salps, greatly enhancing their ability to jet water, turning themselves into a sort of biological jet engine, or more precisely, a water jet engine. They suck in and spray out water, filtering food particles from it as they go. This extremely efficient filtering method has made the salp one of the fastest reproducing animals in the world. If ordinary sea squirts are imitating sponges, then salps are likely imitating cnidarians. Some salps have also begun to clone themselves and connect with each other to form vast life arrays. Although, when compared with siphonophores, salps may not exceed them in individual differentiation, salps are extremely excellent in terms of super-individual morphological changes. Unlike siphonophores, which merely drag along their colonies, salps connect the entire colony's nervous system, truly achieving shared consciousness, that is, if they indeed have consciousness. This allows them to achieve more complex collective movement, pushing the colony from one-dimensional to three-dimensional. A type of salp, represented by Pyrosoma, assembles into an appearance like creatures from another world, and yet they can still emit ghostly luminescence, truly a dream-like organism. The Pyrosoma colony has already distinguished between the inside and outside of the body, and each individual no longer fights alone, but through the entire structure of the colony, achieves an effect where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. I sometimes wonder if this super-individual life form truly represents a more advanced form of life's evolution. Then perhaps, in the future, salps and siphonophores might engage in a battle for supremacy, and the ultimate winner is unpredictable. If you think that Urochordates merely imitate early animals, then you are underestimating them. There is another main branch of Urochordates that has taken a very distinctive evolutionary path, that is, the Larvacean. Unlike other relatives, who firmly choose to filter feed on the seabed, Larvaceans retain a free-swimming form throughout their brief few days of life, so they might be closer to the appearance of the common ancestor of Urochordates and vertebrates. But Larvaceans are not living fossils that have remained unchanged for hundreds of millions of years. In their long evolution, they have developed a very unique way of life. They can secrete special proteins, weaving a delicate filter net, filtering various food particles from seawater. They live their entire life dragging this filter net and will later sink to the seabed with it, forming what's called marine snow. Though they are few in species, They are spread across all seas, continuously transmitting the bounty of the shallow seas to the deep, nourishing countless deep-sea ecosystems. We have seen too much slaughter in the animal kingdom, always feeling that strength is the only truth in the animal world. However, think carefully. Just as the original anaerobic bacteria couldn't know that there would come a day when the Earth would be full of oxygen, single-celled organisms also could not imagine that there would come a day when they would be indiscriminately caught in one swoop by multicellular filter feeders. Fate, indeed, is difficult to fathom. Perhaps billions of years from now, vertebrates may also find themselves eventually reaching an evolutionary dead end. Perhaps by that time, Urochordates will tell us through actual results that minimalism is truly invincible and can unleash the most incredible evolutionary potential. Maybe they are the spark of hope for chordates.